What's up, everybody? End of day 24, 40 days of drumming. uh, yeah, another crazy day in a way. They're all kind of crazy because I'm in a room by myself for 40 days and just drumming. Um, yeah, my hip was pretty sore all day long, so didn't play any bass drum at all. Um, just didn't want to further agitate it. I had to sort of come to terms with the fact that foot needs rest and there's other stuff that I can work on. So did a bunch of other stuff, even played some rhythms on my iPad a little bit, um, just working on like touch on an iPad as a musical instrument because it's all fingers and trying to get the rhythms to where they sound the same as like a real drummer who's hitting drums when your movements are only like this big is tricky, so I've been doing a lot of that over tour, so just trying to kind of work on that a little bit more as well. um, yeah, I haven't mentioned yet, I've been writing down these rhythms. Emil Richards came to U of A years ago when I was in school there and laid down this, at the time, sort of heavy concept of like his rhythmic Bible, where he has a particular way of dividing up notes and he kind of makes these like trees of rhythms where if you follow this little thread, then you can come up with all these rhythms. You follow this thread. And so for the past, I don't know, maybe week or something, I've been kind of starting to write down those ideas. And um, so since I wasn't doing much bass drum, and it was almost at the beginning of the day, I was just too uncomfortable to even sit at the kit. My foot or my hip was just not having it. So um, I just had to figure out other stuff to do that was still kind of in line with what I'm trying to do here. So um, writing down some of the rhythms was part of my day. Um, come up with some stuff that I'm pretty happy with. Just the ideas and the flow. It's been interesting because I'm excited about these ideas that I'm kind of coming up with, but at the same time, like I'm wondering if that's a distraction from what I'm trying to do here. So try and try to find a balance, I suppose, to where I'm spending enough time actually at the drums and trying to connect to more this completely effortless way of playing. Um, so yeah, but I think I'll probably continue with to write out the rhythms a little bit. I just don't. It's I guess the reason it's been a concern is that it's easy for me to go off and, oh look, I just came up with all of this stuff, and then there's all of these things that I can do with it. I want to do all these things, and then I try and do this, I try and do that, and I try and do that. But in trying to get through all of these things, then I'm losing sight of the goal of really trying to play from an effortless space. And I'm going back to this old mode of practice where I'm just kind of trying to crank through stuff and get through it, and I'm not really playing effortlessly. Then I'm playing in kind of a work mode, which has been the way I've done it for years. So it's an easy habit to slip back into, but I'm trying to be real aware of that and not slip into that all that often. Um, so that's one thing. Um, then at the end of the day, I usually I'll do this video before my last kind of, I do some stuff on the pad because it's quiet and I don't think my parents can hear it, or at least it's quiet enough to where they're um, not complaining about it or whatever. Um, and so I'll do the video and then I do this last uh, session. But tonight I chose to like sit down and kind of write out some thoughts about the day and about where I'm at in this whole thing. Uh, you know, in perspective to my main objective and everything. And, you know, in putting it down in paper, saw and felt that, like, you know, I'd kind of lost sight of the goal of connecting to this place of effortlessness. Um, and so I decided that I'm really going to like commit to that, and like that's going to be what I do. And I even wrote down this little thing: connect, number one, connect, number two, play. If connection, what does it say? If connection is lost, begin again at number one. Um, you know, and that's that whole thing about the busy mind and stuff, you know, because when I'm connected to this effortless space, which hasn't been all that often, even though I've been here for this long, um, you know, my mind is quiet, and then everything's just kind of flowing. But when my mind is normally busy and likes to jump in and offer me all these things to think about, and just like I said, my mind is upping its game and making it even harder to not be distracted by that stuff. So I have to in turn up my game, you know, and so that's what I sat down and kind of did. You know, I kind of remember doing that at the meditation retreat, you know, and they encourage you to do that. Work patiently and persistently, and work diligently. You know, he says that to you over and over again. Work diligently every single time. So I think some of the diligence towards the goal of connecting kind of went away a little bit. So I re-upped that, and I sat down and had a pretty good session at the pad. It was cool. It was one of the longer connections that I've had, and this time it was just simply like I felt like I was able to, like, my consciousness or whatever it is was able to kind of go into like the back of my head, and I was kind of thinking of the breathing, and breathing not down this way but down kind of my back and into my lungs from the back. It was kind of the visual aspect of what I was imagining, and what that did was like felt like my consciousness was up here, and then the part that's playing the drums was down here in my body, in the hands. So I was able to kind of just sit there and observe and listen. And I was just playing double strokes, just dabba 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 dabba. Because I know I can do those fairly effortlessly, but it was cool to like get in that space, and be able to kind of sit there for a while and not have it just be like, oh, I'm in the space, oh, this is cool, oh, thoughts, and I'm gone. So yeah, that was kind of nice. It did get to a point to where then it was like I felt like something wanted to change, but I don't know how to just kind of let it change without getting my mind involved and taking over the hands and telling them what to do. It's a tricky thing. I don't really have like a teacher to help me with this stuff, so I just got to figure it out on my own here. You know, I've got the guide of the Kenny Werner book, but other than that, I don't know. I'm just forging new territory. It's not necessarily new territory, but for me it is. So yeah, that's it. Um, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Later.